Alright, what I'm doing this morning, it's I believe it's February the 2nd. No, yeah, February the 2nd. Water temperature is 53 degrees. It's actually a couple degrees warmer than it has been being the last probably 4 or 5 days. The fish are still holding on deep structure. And so basically what I'm doing today is just spot checking some stuff that I hadn't checked since last week sometime. There were fish on all these spots last week, and I'm just seeing if they're still here. We've got a good, pretty warm day today. Supposed to get up to about 70. Warmest day we've had in, I guess, 2 or maybe more, 2 or 3 weeks. So that's about all it takes. They're full of eggs and just ready for, that's what they're waiting on, is a warm up. So every time we get 2 or 3, 4 days of good, steady, warm weather and this water temperature starts rising, you know, it'll climb several degrees a day, and them fish notice it right off the bat, and they'll start kind of pulling off its deep structure and kind of easing back into the creek. So you just got to stay with them, and you know, every day or every week more or less is something different. So anyway, I got some spots here we're gonna spot check. I'm already seeing a few fish still on this one. I may catch 1 or 2 off each spot and then move on to the next. Just got a good little thump first pitch in. Ain't good to miss the first fish of the day. They're here though. Fish. Lost him right at the boat. Didn't have him hooked as good as I thought. Pretty fish, just like lately, man. They're just I've been catching more females than anything, just full of eggs. There you go, three pitches. That's a nice fish there, beautiful fish. Probably 12, 13-inch fish, 12-inch fish. Anyway, it's 3 pitches. There's at least 75 crappie right here right now. But that's the 3rd pitch. First pitch I missed one. Second 2 pitches I caught one. There you go. Last 3 pitches in a row, 3 crappie. That's a 15-inch crappie right there. That's a big fish. Big pretty fish. Anyway, the wind's shifting around on me, so it's pulling me off my spot, swinging the back of my boat around. I'm just trying to get set back up. They're here. Number 5. Alright, I'm gonna move to another spot. There's still a bunch of fish here, but I don't want to catch them all. I'm gonna put them in a live well until I get a picture. Probably turn them all back loose later. I got plenty in the freezer right now. Alright, I've got to move to another spot, and got fish on it as well. Same deal. They're down there about 20 foot. So they're still on these deep spots up and down this river. They're still loaded up on them. There's probably another. There's a big school here as well. Not as big as that last spot, but there's at least 30 fish here for sure. Well, I tell you what, these fish are aggressive. They fight, boy. Very aggressive. They're hitting aggressive today. It's just pretty blue skies, sunny day. It's got them turned on. But boy, when you get one on the hook, they fight like a little bass. Three pitches, 3 fish. I've hit 2 spots this morning, and I think I've got 7 fish so far, so they are definitely here. Good fish. Five pitches, 4 fish. Lost that one. Had a nice one, got him right to the top of the water, got off. Tearing up in Bobby Garland. Blue ice, Bobby Garland, blue ice. That's my, I don't know if it's this blue ice or bleeding shad. I like electric chicken a little bit too, but 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna have either bleeding shad, which is probably my favorite. Overall, I've probably caught more fish on a bleeding shad than any color. But a friend of mine, also another guide, Ed Terry, and a few of them guides, they love that blue ice. They kind of got me hooked on it too. But most days, you come out here with a bleeding shad and hang with them or outdo them sometimes. Losing count, that's a good thing. You know you're catching a lot of fish when you're losing count. It's a smaller, low, medium sized fish. Still a good eater. I'm gonna probably turn all these back today anyway. I'm just gonna get a picture with them, let them go. But yeah, I think I've pitched about 8 or 9 pitches, and I think got 4 or 5 in the box and lost 1. So I've only had about 3 pitches that I didn't get a bite. Another fish. I'm gonna leave him alone after this one. I think that's, I don't know, 6 fish off this and 1 lost fish. Maybe 10 or 12 pitches over the structure. He got an old bulging eye on him for some reason. Messed up eye on him. There's still fish here, but I'm gonna leave them alone. I don't want to pull them all off. That way they'll attract more in later. If you leave a few, it's always best to leave a few. It'll build new ones will come in on it a lot faster. Anyway, I'm gonna check another spot. I'll be back with you. Lost it. Yeah, that was crazy. Alright, I've moved to another spot. I actually fished a spot a minute ago that had about 8 fish, maybe, something like that on it. And I thought I had the camera on record, but didn't. But I ended up catching 1 off that spot. So I've hit 3 spots this morning. And I've caught 11, I got 10 in the box. I threw the first one back. But I'm at another spot now, and there's looks to be quite a number of fish on it. Some of them look actually shallower than the rest of the spots. That last spot I hit, I caught 1 on. I couldn't get down in there to them. They were down under a log. They were literally right on the bottom. That one I caught was every bit of 24 foot, at least 23. So this spot here looks like I'm seeing some fish at maybe even 15 foot maybe. So I've only ran maybe about a half a mile down the river, so that's kind of crazy how a little short distance like that can make a difference in the way the fish are acting. But anyway, we're gonna see what we can do, see if we can get one or two off this spot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all crappie, but they're acting funny. They're short striking bad. I'm gonna put something on there to see if I can make them hold it a little bit longer where I can get a hook in them. Put one of these niblets on there and see if I can give them a little something to taste. Yeah, these fish are acting totally different and at a different water level, different depth than the fish just half a mile up from me are. I mean, these fish act like they're not hungry. They're just barely running up and bumping it and not even giving me a time. I've done had probably 4 or 5 bumps to finally catch this one, and the rest of the fish have been right at 20, if not under 20 this morning. Beautiful fish. Look at the belly on her. But anyway, these are sitting down there at about 15 foot. So that's just crazy how that little bit of a distance makes that much of a difference. But that's, like I say, 4 spots. I could have probably limited out by now. So a couple of the spots, especially the first one I hit, had a huge school of crappie on it, and I think I caught about 6 there and just left them alone. It's hard to leave them when they're there and biting like that, but I'm not out here trying to catch every fish in the lake. I'm just trying to see what they're up to right now. So, but I've gotten, let's see, 12 fish out of 4 spots, and like I say, I know without a doubt I could have done caught a limit. I could have limited out probably this morning within an hour, two hours tops. Got a fish on, he's got me hung up. Yeah, he's still on there. There you go. I still got him. Good fish too. Yeah, the only reason I still have that fish because he's hooked all the way back in the back of his throat. I mean, that fish swallowed that jig, and he had me hooked around a snag down there, and I had to give him all the slack for several times there. And he stayed on it, finally got himself, swam off that snag and got him. Got her, I should say. These fish, like I say, they're acting finicky. I think these crappie niblets are certainly helping because they're short striking it. So when they do that, if they can get a little taste in their mouth, sometimes they'll go on and hold on to it a little longer. Small fish. There's a good fish. Well, them boats came by me and every one of them fish dropped down about 5 foot deeper. Every one of them just fell. That fish is so blistered up, tail mostly missing, all blistered up. Man, look at that. The rough looking fish there. But yeah, every one of them fish dropped 4 to 5 foot when the noise of that boat come by just now. Just another short strike in here. I'll have to change colors, I guess. Maybe put on no bleeding shad if they don't quit that. I've done missed probably 5 fish on this spot, and I hadn't missed that many fish this morning since it before this spot or yesterday. I limited out yesterday, and I bet I didn't miss 3 fish all day, or since I hit this spot this morning, all total I had missed 3 or 4 fish because they're hitting good. But for some reason this spot here, as crazy as it is, they're just finicky. They're not hammering it. I got a spot here. I just lost a fish. I've been side scanning around for about an hour, and anyway, I'm just at where a creek comes into the main river. Spot I hadn't really looked over good. I found a little small structure here and there that looked like it had some fish on it. So I dropped live scope down, and there's just about maybe 4 or 5 fish, maybe 3 to 5. I just hung a nice fish, had him to the top of the water, and he got off. So I'm gonna see if I can get another one. There's about 5 fish down there. The one I hadn't lost was better fish than this one, but they're just sitting. Literally, there's a lay down here, and I've got a real deep main creek coming in, ties into the river. Main river channel is right in front of me. I'm kind of on a point, and there's actually a kind of a high spot right here on this point, and there's a little bit of laying down structure here. This is like an old lay down that's literally flat on the bottom, but it's got a few little stick ups coming off of it, and they're just congregated right around that one little stick up there. So gotta love this stuff, man. There's another one. I am going to change colors just to see if that'll make any difference, but these are hard to catch right here. They're definitely all crappie. I've done pulled Been pulled a couple of them out of there, and they're all in there tight. I know that's just nothing but a school of crappie. Try this bleeding shad and see if they want it a little better. Go ahead and put a niblet on it too. All right, bleeding shad. See what happens. Thought that one a little better. Barely have that fish hooked. He knocked the fire out of it though, that's for sure. Bleeding shad, barely got him. I mean, barely got him. Still short struck it, but it was a good solid thump. Pretty fish. Yeah, I'm gonna probably leave these alone. I'm gonna catch one more, and I'm gonna be setting it around 20. And so I'm gonna probably leave them alone after that. But I mean, it goes to show a couple things here. Is like I was saying, the fish earlier, or just a short while ago, on the first spots I hit were just knocking the fire out of it. I was getting the hook set all the way back in the back of the top of their mouth, or in their back of their throat. One, they were taking it good, and I move about a half a mile, and it is a bigger school than the rest of the schools. I don't know if that has something to do, but they're acting totally different. I've missed probably six to eight hits, and the fish that I have caught, every one of them has been out in the front top of their lip, like they're really not taking it. Another thing, I missed almost all the bites I've missed here, probably about 8 on the blue ice. And even adding a niblet to the blue ice still wasn't catching. So I changed to the bleeding shad, and now I've missed maybe one. Still catching them in the top of the mouth, but out front part of their mouth, but I'm catching them. So they're actually hitting this a little better than they were the blue ice. Alright, that's the last one I'm going to catch here. There's a bunch of fish down here. I could probably sit here and catch 15, 20 more easy. There's every bit of 60 fish or more here. Again, that's a little better hook set, but still out towards the front of his mouth. It's like they're just running up, kind of lipping at it. They're not sucking it down hard. They're just kind of lipping at it. So we learned something today, or something we already knew and we've seen before, but it's crazy to see that, how they act so different. So if you're at one spot in the lake and the fishing's slow, the bite's slow, don't mean the whole lake's slow. Sometimes it's just a matter of a 1 mile run or less sometimes, and find a whole different school of fish in a different water column like these here are, and it could change everything. So that's crazy. We're gonna actually go do a little, I'm gonna do some side imaging around for a little while, see if I can find something new. I've already checked 4 of my regular spots, and actually 3 of the spots I've checked this morning are spots that I have found just in the last 3 to 4 days side imaging around. So I'd like to see if I can find a few more, and when I do, I'll turn the camera back on, see if we can catch some. Alright, I got some fish found here. I just caught one. I've just been side scanning around and found a laydown that I've seen a lot of fish on side scan on, and thought they were bass at first, but they're actually crappie. I just caught one. There's about 8 or 10 fish here, so I'm gonna see if I can pick up a few more. Good fish. That's a real nice fish there. Pretty fish there. Alright, I'm going to change over to blue ice again. They ain't seeming to want this. The bite's turned off a little bit right now, so let's see if I can give them something different. Yeah, he's slow biting right now. There's several fish down there. I'm swimming that jig right through them, and about every 3rd time I'll get a hit. So this morning was a lot better bite. Since I've been trolling around scanning for stuff, they've kind of slowed down a little bit. Good fish. Yeah, they're slow biting right now. It's real slow, real finicky. I mean, nothing like it was this morning, but that's a nice fish. You can still catch them, but you got to play with them a lot longer. Alright, I'm going to do a little more side scanning and probably call it a day. I'm going to count what I got. I know I've got over 20, so let's see what we got here. Alright, 24 fish. One more for a limit. And I've already thrown back more than that, so I've caught well over my limit today. Just kind of spot hitting, not catching everything that was there. Side scanning around, I caught 4 out here that were all side scans, seen on the side scan. Double back, drop down with the live scope and kind of zone in on them. Pitching jigs past them, letting it fall right over the top of them pretty much all day. So if I'd have hammered on all the spots that had large schools, 60, 80 fish, I could have probably caught 75 fish today, probably, the way they were biting this morning. So I'm gonna see if I can pick up one more every now and then. I just like to go home with a limit and get a good picture. So plus this will be all I'll probably keep for a while after these. I should have enough to eat. So